Hello, guys. Welcome back to another Loose Goose Studios video. Today's going to be kind of different. It's going to be a podcast that we are, for now, dubbing the Loose Goose Stories, featuring me, Rain, and today I got Pedro.
Yep. Hello, guys.
So in this one, we're going to talk about just a general reflection on high school since we just graduated. Low-key age reveal, yeah, I know. But yeah, we just graduated, so what better time to look back on the things we just did in the past 4 years?
Yep. Recent graduates. It was an interesting experience, and so we'd like to share what we learned, and hopefully our experiences could help you, and hopefully achieving the after high school life that you're going after.
Really.
So so yeah, Rain and me, we didn't go to the same high school. We're friends, but Rain moved
We
to
only met
different.
in middle school.
Yeah, we met in middle school, and then Rain would end up moving. We chose different. Well, first of all, we chose different high schools. So even though they were kind of in the same area, we didn't go to the same. I kind of wanted to as last minute change over to his high school, so we'd still be in the same school. But my application got submitted in late, so the change wasn't able to be made. But whatever, I really don't regret that. It was interesting to the experiences I had in the school I went to were were probably stuff I wouldn't change anything for.
Yeah. And then for me, yeah, my most of my freshman year was in California, but then I moved to Washington, and that's where I spent the rest of my high school. So yeah,
Yep.
I mean
Well,
honestly
alright.
though,
Let's get started. I guess we start off with ninth grade, right?
yes.
All right. So, what was your ninth grade like?
Okay, well, like I said earlier, most of my ninth grade was in California. That's where we're from, and that piece that I spent there, it was amazing. Like, there's a lot of fear going into high school about like, oh my gosh, a new place, it's a new area, there's gonna be more work and all that. But I had Mr. H there and a few other, actually really old friends that came back for high school. So I actually had tons of fun there. That was probably my best year, to be honest. But then I moved to Washington and I didn't make that many friends because I'm not much of an outgoing person. So yeah, that was a bit more of a struggle for me in freshman year. What about you, Pedro?
Freshman year, I did have some of my middle school friends go to the same school, but most of the friends I did make were new. They were from different schools. I never really asked them where they came from, but yeah, and yeah, I did it. I'm not really. We're both not really. It's funny because we're quite similar. We're kind of both introverts. So yeah, I didn't make a lot of friends either. Uh, but the few that I did, they did end up lasting till like senior year, so that was cool. But yeah, I made a couple friends, and it was pretty easy. Just um, I was turning in my stuff on time, so freshman year I was actually getting good grades, and yeah, the most memorable thing about freshman year will be just that it's the transition year from middle school to high school.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's mostly what freshman year is about. Just getting adapted to the high school environment and the the changes it has from middle school. So yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much freshman year in a nutshell. Whatever, like, don't worry about freshman year at all that much. It's really not too important in the long run. It's just taking your time to get used to it.
Yeah, so just experiment different stuff that your school offers. Check out fuck, I fucking choked on water. Check out for different clubs and activities that they may have. This is pretty much the
Oh
year
yeah,
where like the stuff you do really won't matter. So just test the different stuff, and then
take risks.
it's for the years to come. Then you can focus on the stuff you like most.
Hmm.
So yep.
So speaking of that, I guess on to sophomore year. Sorry, it was a bad idea to bring M&Ms. I gotta fucking chew these things, goddamn. But yeah, sophomore year. I think we both agreed that sophomore year is like mm, the most forgettable of the 4 years. You would agree with that, right?
Yeah, sophomore year. Yeah,
Nothing really happens in it. I'm gonna be honest.
yeah, not really. Some of the friends from freshman year, some decide to leave to different schools because they probably didn't like the first year in the high school. So some leave, but so so yeah, sometimes your friend um, groups might get smaller, but also from that, this is usually the year where people start to change a bit, the way they behave and stuff. So sometimes this is when old friends you become a bit distant, and when you start forming new new friends and stuff, new friend groups.
Yeah, yeah. It would be like that. You can't have some friends forever, sadly.
Yeah, change tastes or yeah, people change their yeah, just people just change in general. So yeah, sometimes you're no longer have the same what's it called tastes or likings.
Ideas,
Yeah,
interests.
interests. Yeah, that was the word. Interest. So sometimes you kind of split it up a bit. So, but it's okay. It's always that's just that's just life. So people change and stuff change. Everything's always changing. You just have to get adapted to the new environment.
Yep. I can say from experience, you get used to it soon enough.
Yeah, don't if you had like really good friend and like you start become distant, don't try to like force to keep things together. Just move on. It's it's not worth to what's it called stick around sometimes to people who probably don't enjoy your company as much anymore. So yeah.
And it kind of messed up, but true. So then, yeah, sophomore year, nothing much really happens. Couple changes here and there. Eh. Junior year, oh man, I don't know about Pedro, but in my school they were telling us that junior year is the most important one actually. Like that's where majority of colleges, that's what they're gonna look to. Like what did you do in junior year?
Yep.
And yeah, there's a lot of weight on it. So me, I had to like I've always been a decent student. I've always been slightly above average. So junior year, I was like, dude, if this is the one that they're gonna look at, I have to be like extra on point this year. And so yeah, I just did as much as I could, signed up for some things, and it mostly paid off. So yeah, that's my junior year. Just a lot of work.
And for me, I was kind of the opposite. It actually started the previous year in 10th grade, but I started slacking off. The second semester of 10th grade, I think, is when I really had the big drop, and then it continued in 11th grade for both semesters. I really didn't try anymore. For no real good reason. It's not because I had a problem or anything outside school or because the subjects were harder. I just didn't try. I wasn't putting effort anymore. Um,
Mm.
I really can't say why. I guess it was just laziness, a mix of laziness and stupidity. I really should have just done my stuff. It wasn't really hard. It was mostly homework assignments. I wouldn't do them anymore, and like I wouldn't even bother to turn them in like turn them in late to get like partial credit or whatever. And that really did have a big effect. I'd still managed to somehow pass my classes with these, but like colleges and stuff, they won't look at that very kindly, even if you have good uh, PSAT or test scores and stuff like that.
Yeah, true, true.
Because they don't want to have smart kids. They want to have kids that they know will get the job done. So yeah, they want to have kids that they know that they have proved themselves to push through the what's it called? Push through the pressure
Just
and
hardships in
stress.
general.
Yeah, the hardships. But yeah,
Yeah.
and also junior year, I joined SRLA. That was an interesting experience. It was this was the one thing from junior year where I did put a lot of effort. If for those who haven't tried it, you should probably try it. It's quite an interesting experience. You meet some new people. And also you you work. I mean,
You just
yeah,
get disciplined a bit.
yeah, and also aside from that, you do physical activity. It's really good for your body. You get a bit fitter from running all that, and in the end, if you make it, you get a bunch of cool stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't really remember much from my junior year, even though it was like a year ago. It's just kind of sad. All I know is that I was just doing bad in school.
I mean, also, you guys gotta remember that since we're graduating right now, end of junior year was when the pandemic hit, and that did have some effects.
Oh yeah, one of the reasons I didn't get like such bad grades for the second semester, especially because that's when the pandemic hit. Um, First semester junior year, I was actually passing my classes with like C's and D's, but the second semester I just totally gave up. I didn't try anymore. I was failing all of my classes, I believe. But then the pandemic hit, so the district decided to like not let any of the kids like fail. So I kind of got saved there. Like, I don't know. It couldn't it couldn't have come at a better time. I ended up passing all my classes as a result of this program. I got D's in all of them, which isn't great, but at least I got to meet the I got to
Requirements
yeah,
barely.
the requirements to graduate high school. I didn't have any Fs. I mean, yeah, I didn't fail any core classes that I needed, so I wouldn't have to take summer school like in a couple previous years I had to.
Yeah. For me, like I said, I was already trying my best on that one because they said it was an important year. So the pandemic for me was more of just like an emotional release, really. I just didn't have to stress as much to get work done because we had less work. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it was
And
also
then that
during.
leads us. Oh, okay, go.
Wait, no, actually, you go.
No, I was gonna say we should move on to the senior year, but now do you have something else to
Yeah,
say?
and also in the summer break between junior and senior year, that's when we decided. Oh no, it's actually before that. It was during the semester, but it was like during the coronavirus break. They did like we kind of expected that we'd come back to school in like 2 weeks. So during the break, since like nobody was really doing anything, they gave us a couple assignments, but to be honest, nobody in my class actually did it. Neither did I, obviously, because I
Same.
wasn't even doing work at all. But whatever. So during this time is when I was talking to her, and we came up with the idea of creating the studio. And what do you know? A year later, we have 10 members. We're slowly growing. Hopefully, you guys can help us grow a little faster. But but yeah, and so yeah, it's kind of cool that during that time we took advantage of it and we created this.
A
And
little
then
project of ours.
yep, and then also after that, then I guess yeah we move on to senior year. The for me it was the biggest year. I don't know about Rain.
Mm. Overall, the biggest year was definitely senior. Because, like, I don't know why, but our school just put a lot of emphasis on it. Like, they were insistent that the colleges, they're going to look at senior year. I mean, not senior, junior year the most. But towards the end of senior year, like, yeah, obviously, that's the biggest one. Because then that's where graduation is. You have to make sure everything's done. You got to get scholarships, all that.
Yeah, during junior year, I would always be get pulled down to what's it called to the counselor's office so they could try to somewhat convince me to do better. But near the end, they just gave up because I wasn't even trying. I really should have, but I didn't. Whatever. So now in senior year, that's when like the realization came in that fuck, I need this high school diploma. So I started trying again for the first like it was kind of always the same thing. The beginning of the semester, I really try, and then I slip up a little, and then instead of like trying to make up for the slip up, I just totally give up. I don't. It's a terrible mindset. Don't do this. If if you slipped up a bit, it's okay. Just pick yourself up and make up for it, and then continue going. But me, I didn't do that. I just gave up. I would give up entirely, and so senior year that would continue on to the later parts of the semester. The first semester, I failed one of my core classes, so I had to take it or retake it during what's it called, winter break. Luckily during the
Mm.
winter break, I did pass it, and so the second semester, it was it was the same thing. The beginning I try, during the later part I would give up. But this was the big, like, there was no more what's it called summer break to make up this stuff anymore. It was you make it right now or you won't graduate. So or you go to I mean not community adult school to get your high school diploma. And I really didn't want to do that. So during the final 2 weeks of the semester, I went into like fucking the max gear. I was pulling on nighters doing the semester's work, and I don't know how, but I somehow made it. I ended up getting C's in my core classes. I didn't get past all of them. I got two F's and some classes, but they were elective, so I already met the requirements for that. So
Oh, yeah, that's
that
good.
was lucky. Yeah, not
Yeah.
good, but at least they were not important classes.
You at least
So
made it.
yeah, so I ended up did meeting the requirements to pass, and so I did end up passing and getting my high school diploma, which I would soon have to go to school to pick up. What about you, Rain? How was your senior year?
Nah, senior year, yeah, I slacked off a lot more too. I would go an entire month without doing any work and then just do it all in one day or a couple days. But I still passed, so yeah. Like I said, they put more emphasis on junior stuff. It's like, I mean, also, like, it's the very end of your entire basic education. You have been leading up to this. Once you get to the final stretch, you kind of can't help but just slow down. You're like, okay, I'm there. I can kind of relax. It's just a hard mindset to ignore.
Yep. Um. Yeah. I really don't know what to add to it. Yeah, seniors, juniors. They're saying juniors the biggest year, but senior year really does feel a bit bigger because of the pressure that the end of school is imminent, and then now is the next step which the next step which would be adulthood,
Yeah,
college, bills, stuff. It's a lot to take in,
it is.
and for some people they can't handle it, but honestly, you just have to take it a step at a time.
Yeah, if you're in senior year right now, or if you're going into senior year because school already ended, if you're going into senior year, do not get senioritis. Don't be lazy just 'cause it's the last year. There are still, like, believe it or not, there are still chances to mess it up. You gotta be careful.
Yeah, you really do. Some colleges, if you slip up in senior year or you start slacking up a bit, they might even pull away your acceptance to the school or something. So yeah, I don't want that happening to you.
Mm.
Can't really slack off senior year. All right, so um, perhaps I guess now we go to what would we have done differently. What would you have done differently?
Boy. Nah, man. I would mostly say clubs because I never really checked out the clubs that much. And there could have been some real nice people there that I missed out on. So yeah, I would have mostly just tried to get into a club, try to meet some people. Other than that, maybe take a few more risks with like random electives that might have been really fun. Because like yeah, it's really just discover yourself. Like what do you like? I would have done more of that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I should have been a better student, turned in my stuff on time. The assignments were always kind of easy, pretty straightforward. It's just that they would take time, and I guess that's the thing that would always kind of discourage me from trying to complete them. They were boring. Some assignments were boring. Some were tedious. Some were just painful, whatever. But I really should have just done it. It would have really helped me a lot to pass those classes. I should have stopped wasting my time and just done that. Most of the time, I'd just be playing games instead of doing my stuff. So I probably shouldn't have done that too. And other than that, yeah, like Rain, I should have joined more clubs. I only joined the club junior year, I think, SRLA. That was interesting. I probably should have done that more because not only would it allow you to meet new people, but it kind of also like provide you with a place to relieve the stress that you sometimes build up dealing with the school stuff. So yeah.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you also learn interesting lessons there. You meet interesting people. For example, in SRLA, I had there was one of these. There was what's it called? Um, yeah, there was one of the teachers was. He wasn't a teacher. He was. I don't know what he was.
Volunteer?
No, he wasn't a volunteer. He worked in the school, but whatever. He's whatever. But yeah, he was cool. He sometimes made me realize that I really was that was just being dumb, pretty much. It's like, bro, why you being dumb? You literally have a big future that you ahead of you. You just have to work for it, and that I
Damn.
just kind of get annoyed by him sometimes. I'd be like, I didn't tell him anything, but I just like, bro, just shut up. I don't care. But honestly, I should have listened to him. I should have been stop being a knucklehead and taking his
Damn.
advice. Sometimes you feel a bit attacked that everyone's telling you, bro, do better or something. But honestly, they say it because they know that you can do it and they want the best for your future. And yeah, but
Yeah, it do be like that.
yeah, whatever.
You got big brain but very small foresight.
Yeah.
Well, then after that, I guess we should touch on AP classes real quick, or like just honors in general. Just any sort of higher level classes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
For me, I was taking honor classes, but I didn't sign up for the what's it called? Like the AP stuff. I just thought that was too much work, and me being the lazy student, I really wasn't looking towards doing that stuff. So yeah, and honestly, I kind of should have probably. The harder stuff would have been more challenging and more interesting to me, and yeah, but no, I was just dumb. Rain here, on the other hand, he did join several. So would you like to share your experiences with that stuff and how it's helped you?
yeah, I got you. I got you. Okay, so just like a quick backstory here. Like I've always been one of those like higher level. You can't see me, but I'm doing quotation marks. Like higher level students, and so they were always like, "You should take AP. You should take AP." And I was just like, But I gave in. I gave in. First year, I had one AP class, but then I moved to Washington. They didn't offer it there, so I didn't finish it. Second year, again, they gave me one AP class, and I actually finished it that time. Taking one is not that bad. It's really not. It is hard, but it's not that bad. Senior and no, junior and senior year, I took more than one. I took like four for each year. That is overwhelming. If you like, it is good to push yourself, but don't do it too extremely. It does backfire. But yeah, like and it is extra work, but it really does pay off. In my case, anyways, it did really pay off. Because like even if you don't, what was I saying? Like a B in an AP class is still worth more than an A in a regular class. Because colleges, they do care if you pass. Obviously, they want to see that. But if you don't have the highest grade, that's fine. They want to see that you're at least challenging yourself. They want to see you actually putting in effort. And so that's what AP classes are like really good at doing, and they really boost up your odds for it. For getting picked by colleges, they make you look way more competitive because you're really willing to push yourself. You're willing to go further than the other students.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably should have taken a couple. Oh well. Good thing you did at least. And now we'd go on to organizations.
Yeah, I guess we can do organizations. Sure.
All right. So in my school, we have Avid, which is kind of like a college preparation program. I didn't join it, also because I knew it was more work and tedious stuff, and it really wasn't for that.
Mm.
But what about you? Did you join any?
Yeah, we did not have Abbott, but we had something called CSF, which is College Success Foundation. But you can only apply in your junior year, and then you take it. Like you actually have it during senior year. And yeah, it was a lot of work. I think most of us were very annoyed by it because we had constant meetings, specifically since it was in the pandemic hit. They were all online meetings on Zoom and stuff. They weren't organized the best, I'm gonna be honest. But like the help that they offer is actually pretty legit. There was a lot of scholarships that I would not have even heard of if it wasn't for them. A lot of um, a lot of connections that I did not have any access to until then. Like I was short on a good bit of money for university, and then the leader of the group was just like, "Oh, I got you. I'll just contact the freaking financial aid office at the university, and I'll ask them to give you a bit more money in a scholarship or something." Like, yeah, they're legitimately helpful. If you have the chance, it's work, but like I honestly do think it's actually pretty worth it.
The
Oh, let me put an asterisk beside that because I am a first generation student, so like I didn't have anywhere else to help me. So that probably does play a part into like why they were so amazing for me because I had no one else to go to.
Yeah, I'm also a first generation student, but I didn't get this help, and now I'm kind of like having to deal with kind of being clueless on the process of applying to college and moving on to the next step of your education stuff. So yeah, I guess you can see the differences between the two of us. So yeah, these programs do help, and if your school offers a similar program, I think it might be worth to join.
Yeah,
But also, call it during the what you were saying there, you mentioned online classes, which it was a big deal of our high school years. So
yeah,
how did online change? What are your opinions on online, and how did the online learning differ from what's it called, your regular in class learning? Of course, aside from being online, like
yeah. I got you. Sorry. I mentioned earlier, like for me, it wasn't that much of a work relief because I was already doing okay in my classes. I didn't need any sort of safety net or nothing. It was more of a mental relief to have online classes. Like I just had more time to be in my house, just chill out. Yeah, it was just more of a mental relief, to be honest. But also, it was more isolating too, which is kind of a good and a bad thing. Because yeah, after a while, it just felt like, damn, I kind of do miss seeing people. I do miss actually walking around a bit, as amazing as that is, as I'm the lazy one. But yeah,
and also
what about
think
for you?
uh yeah another thing I'd add in for like what you're saying. Yeah, you do miss people, but like after being away from them for so long, once you do meet them, like for example, when I made them in my graduation ceremony, it was
It's awkward.
us being introverts. It's kind of like you lose your ability to like
Yeah,
well, not your ability, you just feel it just doesn't come as naturally anymore to like talk to your friends. It feels a little awkward. So yeah, so
yeah,
that's
that's
that
true.
was different. Also, for me, online learning, maybe in a slacker, it made slacking a whole lot easier, but
True.
it also made the few assignments not few because the workload was kind of similar, slightly less. Some would say slightly more, but for my case, it was slightly less. It w- there was a lot more flexibility with turning in assignments.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and stuff like that. So it helped me a lot catch up, and especially in the last 2 weeks where I had to turn in like all my stuffs. That really helped a lot. And also, I do feel like you students learn better in class, but it's
You
sometimes
learn better
it's
in class, but you feel better at home.
yeah, and sometimes both things can have a benefit in their own way, a pro in their own way.
Yeah, they're both. Yeah, yeah, fair.
What would you prefer though, to go to continue your, if you had the choice, would you continue your learning online or would you do it in class?
Since we're going to university now, I would actually take in person. I just feel like I wouldn't do that good online in university. That feels a bit too much.
Yeah, I kind of feel, yeah, I feel in person too, because you talk to friends as well. It's a little bit harder when you're online.
True.
And it also helps, aside from talking to friends, it helps also being in person exposes you to other people. It gives you kind of like prepares you for the real world where you have to go out and meet a bunch of new people and have to adapt. You have to develop skills to be able to effectively communicate with others, even though you might not be comfortable with them, but you're gonna have to. So yeah,
I
and
mean,
on
we might be doctors. I mean, not doctors. We might be dentists, so we're gonna be talking to our clients every now and then. It's probably a good skill to have.
yeah, and also that brought another idea. How would you say were your leadership skills in high school? When doing group projects and stuff, were you the type of person to lead the group, or were you just kind of like doing what the kind of leader or what everybody else was just doing?
Okay, see, I'm a very different person, completely depending on how much I know you.
Yeah.
Um, at school, when it was like a group project, I would just sit there and do the bare minimum. Well, the bare minimum in communication. Doing in terms of doing the actual work, like obviously I don't want to hold them down, so I did the work, but like I never really talked to them. I never took lead. But then obviously we have this project here, this company thing where I do. I would like to think I'm active here. I don't know. Pedro, can you confirm that?
Yes, Rain is quite an active member. I think he might be even more active than me.
But yeah, like it depends on how much I actually know the person. If it's a score project, I don't care. I'll do the work, but I'm not gonna talk that much. If it's here, I'm trying to do the most I can. So that's my two sides of leadership, I guess.
Yeah, I think I'd have to say the same thing. It really does depend on who you're working with. When you're working with friends, you feel a lot more comfortable trying to push for like the reins, the leadership role. But when you're with strangers, depending on what's it called, what the situation is, sometimes you're just like whatever, I'll just do what everybody else is doing. But like when there really is nobody doing anything and like you're forced to do it, you kind of like just carry the team while everybody else is just doing nothing.
Yeah.
I did have a couple experiences like that where nobody would do anything. It'd usually be older kids too from higher grades, and
Oh yeah.
me being an introvert, I didn't always have friends in classes. So what's it called? By the time I kind of get put into the group who was still needing a member, and it'd usually be the slack off kids. So they'd always just expect me to do the whole work for them, and like sometimes I would, and other times I just pretend I was a dumbass. So in the end we'd all fail. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, see, that's another point for AP classes. If you're in an AP class, they're gonna do the work. So I never really had to experience that. Like everyone almost always carried their own weight.
Yeah, for regular classes, that's a whole different thing. It depends on the kids. Some
Yeah.
kids want to try, and other kids are just like, especially in Zoom, a lot more people just didn't try for shit during what's it called online classes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do be like that.
All right. What's the next thing we have?
We cover cheating.
Oh yeah, cheating. Did you cheat in school on tests or anything?
I mean, obviously I cheated, but I would say I didn't cheat that much compared to other people.
Yeah, I would
Like,
say
bro.
there was a couple. Sometimes there'd be assignments. Well, you really can't cheat on assignments, but like on tests, I do
Yeah.
admit I cheated on a couple, not really much. But the kind of thing with me is like I don't want. I'm kind of like on the smarter side. I wouldn't say I'm the smartest in my class. Probably in the 20th percentile of the smartest kids around there something.
Yeah.
So
Flex.
what's it called? Um, yeah, sometimes they pass me answers and like check what they have and like check the question and I was like, bro, you have this wrong. I can't copy you. So in the end, I try to cheat sometimes, but I see the answers that people are giving me and I'll be like, bruh. So like in the end, I guess I kind of have cheat on sometimes on the ones I really didn't know. I just take a chance and put what the others handed me. But other times I just have to do the work myself. I have to think it through.
Yeah, I'm in somewhat of a similar position where like I'm not the smartest, but I'm in the higher majority, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, like sometimes you just really don't feel the need to cheat. You're like, man, it's easy enough. Even if I get a C, it's not gonna bring down my grade that much. There's just no point. Like at that point, it's actually more effort to cheat than it would be to just take the test. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah. But other times, like what's it called? The AP test? Like yeah, they're online. I had the option to cheat on that. But I don't know. I just couldn't bring myself to cheat on something like the AP test. I don't know. Maybe I'm a pussy. I don't fucking know. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. That was like a legitimate honor system right there. I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
Yep. All right. So that's that. Next thing would be what would it be?
But just real quick note on the cheating thing. You know, sometimes it may be considered cheating, but if you really don't know something, don't be afraid to use the internet. Like just outside of cheating, like whatever. Just regular learning, don't be afraid to use the internet. It's legitimately helpful.
Yeah, just gotta make sure your sources are credible. Don't just go on some random Reddit thread and take like the stuff they say there for granted. Make sure it's somewhat of a respectable source. So the information you give, I mean, the information you obtain isn't
Yeah,
is at least somewhat correct. Mostly correct. I
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
say somewhat correct. Somewhat correct is not enough. You have to get mostly correct.
Sir, did you kill this man? Well, that's somewhat correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't technically kill him, but whatever. So yeah, I guess next we should. Do you want to cover relationships since it's kind of a small thing for us?
Hmm. Uh. Yeah. I really never had a. To this day, I still haven't had been in a relationship, so I really can't offer much advice in that. What about you, Rain?
Nope, no experience here. That's it. Okay, next topic.
Damn. But I would see a lot of kids get into that. I really wouldn't
In high
ask them
school,
about
yeah,
them their experience. I guess we'd have to get someone with experience on the on the
on a
podcast here.
podcast.
But yeah, for us, yeah, we can't say much.
We're the introverts. We don't really talk to girls.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess I guess the only thing I would say is guys try to talk to people. Perhaps you might get lucky and find somebody you click with, somebody you I don't know. Yeah, just try to talk to
Bro,
people.
actually, you know what's sad?
What?
There were there were three girls. No, there were four girls that I got along with pretty well throughout the high school. But like three of them were a year older than me, so I was like, okay, well, I'm just not gonna bother with that then. They're gonna be gone really soon anyway. So I just, well, that's gone. I really would have considered asking them out, but nah, two of them were already older. They were about to leave anyways at that time.
Yeah.
And then the one I just never talked to enough. Never had the balls to go.
Yeah. For me, I really didn't ever think about asking anybody out because well, something I have to admit is that I'm a little dude, so like that's already like half like most of this girls in school already say like automatic no to. But other than that, it's just um also the introvert thing. It doesn't help. It makes doesn't you feel so weird talking to other people.
Yeah.
So yeah, those things really didn't help me at all.
Yeah, all four of the girls that I got along with, they were the ones that talked to me, so I really did not have the balls to make a move on them.
Yep. All right. So next thing would be what would it be?
Um, it could be the social medias or family.
I think we'll do social media first. So yeah, first of all, guys, social media. When you're talking to friends, I guess that's cool, whatever. But when you're just looking through stupid feed, you're practically just wasting your time that you could really have used in something else. So, so yeah, just try to limit how much time you spend on there s- to the minimum, I guess. I guess sometimes if you just really have a bit of extra time and you just want to laugh a bit, I guess a couple memes are fine. But once you're just spending like the majority of your free time on there, that's you
That's kind
kind
of
of
questionable.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, like the whole talking to friends thing, I vouch for that very hard. I moved to Washington. I literally cannot contact my friends unless I use social media. So yeah, I vouch very hard that it's good to contact friends. Like sometimes you really do need that.
And also, what are your views on people who post like 90% of their life on social media and stuff? What do you think about those? That
Eh, that's on them, bro. I don't care.
yeah,
That's on them.
yeah, honestly, I won't. Yeah, I shouldn't be talking about what other people do. Just if it works for you, whatever.
Like if you get in trouble for that, that's your fault. If you don't get in trouble for that, good for you. I'm not gonna mess with it.
All right, whatever. Next part, family. How was your relationship with your family during high school?
I mean, I feel like, well, normally I wouldn't have really talked to my family that much, but because I moved, because it was a pandemic, like things just lined up, and it kind of forced me to take more time with my family. So yeah. But otherwise, I really do kind of ignore them, which I feel bad about. Especially my mom, because we mentioned earlier, right, that we're first generation. So now that it's senior year, you gotta prep for college. They're like, no disrespect, mom, but you can't really help me here. You haven't gone through this. You don't know what it's like. I need someone else that I can trust here. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, same here. My sister is I have an older sister who is going through college, but sometimes, um, some advice she gives me is helpful, but we're going like through different processes, so it's not really always the best. But I try to take some. But my parents, yeah, they didn't finish high school either, so sometimes they try to like tell me what to do and stuff, and sometimes I just have to let them know that yeah, you guys haven't gone through this, so I think it might be best to let me ask someone who has like perhaps a counselors or stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't even know you had an older sister. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I have an older sister, a year older, but yeah. And then also, yeah, during high school, especially starting in ninth grade, I did become a little bit more distant with my parents, my siblings. I've always kind of been close to them, and I'm still kind of close. A little, we've kind of started going our own ways now, but we're still somewhat close. But my parents, um, it just became a little harder to communicate with them. Sometimes uh, I don't know why they just started sounding annoying to me. They and
That's
honestly,
the teenage hormones right there.
yeah, I think it kind of was just the teenage moody hormone stuff, whatever. and I kind of regret it because it's so much time that I had them with me, and now I realize that I'm going to college, and then I'm probably in the final years where I would really have a lot of time to spend with them.
And you just ignore them instead. It feels bad.
Yeah, if it really does, it really does
Cause
hurt
like
to know that you kind of
you,
that they
you basically just threw your time away with them.
yeah,
You know, if you
especially
like
when you
that
know
stuff.
that how do you call it, the stuff they're doing isn't really because they wanna what's it called ruin
Like
your
they're
life
not
for you.
trying to.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
trying to help you. They just
they
really
really do want to, but
yeah
they just
don't know how
yeah.
to. Instead of just pushing them away, we should just kind of respectfully in a way tell them, I think I got this on my own. Thanks, I appreciate that you're trying to help me, but I'm gonna have to do this myself.
Yeah, dude, I had to break down like my entire financial aid letter to my mom. She was like, "Okay, how much do I need to save up for you?" Like, no, mom, look, like I already have this covered. I got the books covered. You know, like you have to break stuff down for them, but you got to respectfully. You can't just be like, "No, mom, don't bother me."
Yeah,
I
and
worked
that
that really great.
and that aspect I wasn't always the best. Sometimes I just get annoyed and I just tell them stuff in a way that probably wasn't the best, and like I did hurt their feelings a couple times,
Yeah,
and I kind of regret it.
I'm not even in college yet, and I'm already missing them. God damn.
Yeah, so for those who still have time, take advantage of the time we have with your parents. College is right around the corner, and for many of you guys are gonna be away from your families, and you might regret not having spent that time uh, wisely. So you might want to do that.
Yeah, honestly, one of my favorite things to do. It was something that I did with you guys too. So like, you guys are honestly family to me. I'm not gonna lie. But like, yeah,
Hmm.
on weekends, going to the park with the people close to you, that's just a great time. That's
Yeah,
like my classic thing to do.
when you guys have time, yeah, it's always a great idea to hang out with friends, for memories. Yeah, because
Yeah,
how do you
dude.
call it? As you start getting older, time becomes more scarce. You have more responsibilities, more things to deal with, and you might not always have the time to continue doing that kind of stuff. So yeah, while you're young and you have time, you have less responsibilities. Just take advantage and form memories. Stop playing games that won't help you. Unless you're playing with your friends or something, yeah, that's cool.
That's
But
acceptable.
but yeah, just try to be with your friends and form as many memories as you can.
Yeah, might not seem as important in the time, but once you look back on it, you're like, damn, yeah, I should have done that.
Yeah, I had so much time and I blew it on what, and you won't even remember what you were wasting your time on. All you know is that you had a lot of time and now you have no time. So yeah,
Yeah.
but
Well, then
like,
I guess just one. Yeah, now go.
what were you saying?
Nah, you can go. Just yeah.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just gonna conclude this thing.
Well, I was gonna say like final question. What was your favorite class of high school?
Oh yeah, favorite class. Well, I've kind of been an athletic kid, so I would have to say my favorite class would be PE, but I guess that really doesn't count. So I'd say aside from PE, my favorite class would have to be philosophy. The teacher that was teaching this class, he was great. He really did have an excellent way of teaching it, and it really did open my eyes in many ways and viewing how the world is, not the world is, but different the people
How the
in it.
world is viewed.
Yeah, the a worldview. Um, it was interesting. If you haven't looked into it, you probably should want to look into philosophy. It is quite eye opening, and yeah, some of your beliefs might be challenged, but sometimes it's good to have them challenged. It's interesting. Yeah, it's just an interesting subject. Yeah, it was an interesting class. What about you?
And if you want to learn more about it, you could check out our next podcast, which will probably be that.
Yeah,
Quick self plug. Let's go.
perhaps I might decide to talk about it in a podcast to come. But we'll see. What about you, Ring? What was your favorite class?
Okay, so yeah, you guys obviously weren't there, the viewers, the listeners, but me and Pedro, you know, oh, and Mr. H too. We had this class in eighth grade, it was English class, and we would just go wild in it. It was so fun. And basically, my ninth grade geometry class and my what was it, 11th grade pre-calc class, yeah, they were also similar to that. So that's why I like them so much. Like the subjects themselves, obviously, I don't really care too much for. I'm not bad at math. I'm not that dumb, but it's not my favorite, I guess. But yeah, just the people in that class, like they were too fun. I don't know why, but they were just extra wild in that class, and that's what makes it my favorite.
Yeah, the classes where you had friends and and stuff. Those classes would just get really fun. But yeah, learning wise, I'd say yeah, philosophy would be, but like French. I mean not French. And like interactions with friends wise, I'd say art class. Cause in art class, you kind of like just fool around with your friends, and then like uh the I guess it helped you also be a bit more creative. Like sometimes you get ideas while talking with them, and so you create some pretty funny stuff. So yeah, I guess those would be my two favorite classes: art and philosophy. Art to talk to my friends, and philosophy because of the subject. It was an interesting subject.
Yeah, that's fair. In terms of subjects for me would be computer science, I guess. It was the most interesting of my high school. Although I don't know if I like it that much anymore. It got kind of hard very fast. But for the year, yeah, it was probably my favorite. Just in terms of learning wise, like Pedro said.
Yeah, and I guess I guess we reached the end of the.
I guess so, yeah. Nothing else on the list to really cover.
Yep. Well, all right. And so, if you like the podcast, might want to give it a like. Subscribe to our channel, help us out. And if you have any advice of your own,
Stories of your own, yeah.
yeah, stories of your own that you'd like to share, yeah, feel free to share them in the comments. We're always looking to see other people's views and stuff. So
Or
yeah,
if you're in university, you can give us advice.
yes, please.
Because
We're
we're
going
going
to.
there.
If you have any good advice, feel free to let us know in the comments.
Help a boy out.
Yes, we'll appreciate it very much. Other than that,
Yeah, that's it.
yep, we've reached the I guess is the end of the video. So yeah,
First podcast concluded. Let's go.